This video is made possible by our loyal Patreon supporters. Visit patreon.com/Psychetruth.
I have tons of awesome videos already ready for you. You can join me on Amazon Prime Video. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell. Follow us on social media for tips, tutorials, giveaways, and daily inspiration. Hey, welcome back. In today's video, we are going to get into some back bends. So all of that shoulder opening that you did yesterday is going to be tremendously helpful as we get into our back bends. Why do back bends in the first place? Well, to start, most of our day is slumped forward, so you're obviously going to have better posture at the end of this video. You're gonna feel more open, but also back bends are fantastic for increasing your mood and giving you a little more energy. So if you wanna have like a cup of coffee for your spine, do some back bends. But I do want to note that when it comes to back bends, more is not always better. So you want to take a moment to really listen to your body. So if any of these back bends today feel like they're a little bit too far, make sure that you back off and give yourself the rest that you need. I'll definitely remind you of that as we go through the video together, but keep that in mind. Let's begin in child's pose. Bring your toes to touch, and then the knees don't have to be super duper wide, but just comfortably wide. Come on down, forehead down, extend the arms forward, breathe. So in previous videos, we spoke a little bit about breathing into the side body. And to start, let's cultivate that action here. So we're just starting to warm up the sides into the rib cage and the outer armpit. So draw the belly in just a little bit. And as the breath comes into the body, pay attention to the breath going down into the abdomen just slightly, and then also wide into the sides of the ribs. You don't have to breathe like this throughout the entire video, but just getting a sense of how tight you're already feeling in the side body can be helpful so that you can measure out the stretch later to see what's appropriate for you. Good. We're going to come into the lat stretch that we took yesterday once again. So walk your hands off the right side of the mat, stack the left hand on top of the right, lace the fingers, extend the elbows so that you're pulling a big stretch into the side. So back bends, we usually think of going back, but we also have side bends, and we have twists, and we have forward bends. So we will move the spine in all of its directions today, even though the focus will be on back bending. Good. Take your hands to the other side of your yoga mat, lace the fingers, extend your elbows, breathe into the side body. Feels really, really good. Great job. Come back to the middle. Lift yourself up to tabletop. And for our cat-cows today, we're actually going to take some rotation. So we're just getting some lubrication in the spine, but in a different direction. So soften the elbows a little bit, and you're just going to take the spine around in circles like a little jump rope. This is also kind of a bonus because you're going to get your abs involved. Just think about like hula hoop. Just making circular motions should feel really, really nice for the spine. If it doesn't, then reduce the range of motion. Good. Now switch directions. Look to make the circles as fluid as possible. If you feel a little bit sticky or tight in a certain place, or it feels robotic, maybe linger in that spot and then continue. Good. Come back through the center and come down to your belly. So once you're on your belly, slide the heels of your hands back. I'm going to keep my toes tucked today because that can offer just a little bit of low back support, and then a little bit later I'll untuck the toes. Hug the elbows in and lift the chest up. Take the shoulders down your back. Gaze comes straight forward. Breath in. Good. Lower your forehead down. We'll take 3 more cobras like that. So this is early in practice. They don't have to be big. Inhale. Lift the back of the heart. Take the gaze forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, hug the elbows in, lift the gaze forward. Exhale, lower down. Good, last time like that. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Now press up to tabletop. We'll take the rotation of thread the needle just to balance out this beginning work. Left hand down, right arm up. Thread the needle and twist. Let's take those twists, breath with movement. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to twist. Inhale to reach up. Good. Exhale to twist. Let's do that one more time. Reach up, big breath. Twist, and then come all the way through. We'll incorporate what we learned in the previous video of a bind. Take the shoulder head back. Ears should be heavy to the ground, so if you feel crunched in the neck, slide the head a little farther forward. Great. Left hand comes under your shoulder. Inhale, take the right arm up and touch it back down. Let's twist the other side. Right hand down, left arm up, big sweep. Thread the needle, twist it out. And some breath with movement. Inhale, lift. Exhale to twist. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, twist. Last time, breathe in, big up. Twist all the way through. Land the ear, neck stays long. Wrap your arm behind your back. Fill your breath into the back body. Should feel really nice for your spine. Great. Right hand under the shoulder. Inhale, unravel, unwind. Exhale, touch down. Tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Pedal out the legs a little bit. And then settle into stillness. Anchor through all of your finger pads, all of your knuckles. Let the biceps come in towards the ears and the neck stays long. And there should be enough softness in the elbows that you have some play. So if you feel locked out in your shoulders and in your elbows, put a little softness there. Same thing in your knees. Put some softness in your knees. And now we're going to work to build some fluidity in the spine with some spinal waves. So zip the pubic bone up towards the belly button. Lift from the back of the heart. Lengthen the ears forward. So you're coming all the way into a plank pose, and then soften the knees and shift it back. Like there's a little bit of a wave. Good. From here, tailbone up, same idea. Belly button in, lift the back of the heart, then heels back, heart forward. Soften the knees, shift it back. 2 more times like that. Wave the spine. Feel it build from tailbone to crown. And shift it back. Last time. Lift, lengthen, broaden your collarbones, and then shift it back. Fill your lungs and take a big open. Good. Rock it forward. Elbows bend straight back. Lower down to your belly. Loop your shoulder heads back. And bring your hands forward. So we'll come into a seal pose. Seal pose, your hands are about as wide as your mat. Press down and lift your rib cage off the yoga mat. Take your shoulders away from the ears and feel as though the back of your ears were getting lifted or pulled to the ceiling. So you're nice and long. Take another breath in. And on your exhale, lower down. Place each hand on top of one another and your forehead down. Breathe big. Breathe wide. And feel already how just a few moments of spinal work starts to turn on the heart rate. Let your heels rock side to side to relax the low back. One more breath in to stabilize your heart rate. Extended open mouth exhale. Slow it down. Great. Slide the heels of your hands underneath your shoulders, press up to table, and then back to downward facing dog. Now bend into your right knee and press your left heel low. Good. Now switch sides and feel the stretch. Come through the side panel of the body, the hip, but keep the weight in your hands even. Good. So switch sides, just challenging the upper body a little bit to stay stable even when the legs are asymmetrical. Good. And then switch sides. Great. Now bend both knees, that little spinal wave, draw the belly in, lift, then lengthen, heel to crown, lower down all the way. Nice job. Take the shoulder heads back and bring your arms back. 2 options. If you're feeling tight in the chest, let the arms fly next to the body. If you're feeling pretty open, interlace your fingers near your tailbone. Take your shoulder heads back and then press your knuckles back as you squeeze the shoulder blades onto the back body. We'll start with a bound cobra. Lift your knuckles off your seat. Send your knuckles to your heels. Lift the back of your heart. Lift your gaze. So if this is feeling all right, lift your legs as well. Breathe here, yogi. One more inhale. And exhale, release it down. I like to bring my hands underneath my forehead. It's like a little pillow. You can wiggle the body side to side to relax the back. And surrender your breath a little bit. Good. So we'll take a set of that. Again, a couple options. You can return to bound cobra if that felt like a challenge for you. If you want to step it up a notch, bend your knees, grab onto your ankles or the tops of your feet. Loop the shoulder heads back and then kick the shins back into bow pose. Because your shoulder blades are anchored onto the back body, this posture will open up through the chest. If you feel pain in the shoulder, return to a lesser variation, like the locust pose. Hug the inner thighs towards the midline, lift the toes up. Take another breath in, and exhale, release. Relax the body down, and let your heels wash side to side. Bow pose always gets my heart rate racing. And then we get to practice the skill of slowing down afterwards. Great job. Come up to Sphinx pose. Bring your elbows underneath your shoulders. Palm the ground. Hug your elbows back. Tuck your toes. From Sphinx pose, a little core challenge. Zip the belly in. Energize the legs and press up into your forearm plank. From forearm plank, notice the strength in your legs, your low belly, and broadness across your collarbones. From here, a little challenge pose, dolphin. Begin to walk your toes up towards your elbows. Let your neck go long between your arms. Push into your forearms, and at the same time, hug the upper arm bones back into the shoulder socket so you feel firm. There may also be a gentle hug of the elbows in towards one another, especially if you feel like you're going to slide side to side. Keep your seat up high so that's lots of core strength as well as leg strength. And then walk your toes in 1 more inch. Fill your lungs big. And on your exhale, drop the knees down. We'll come into a variation of child's pose called Embryo. The knees come together, set your belly back on your thighs, and sweep your arms back by your feet. Use the compression of your belly on your thighs as an opportunity to breathe into the back body, to find some space in your thoracic spine, to
Find some space between your shoulder blades. And if this feels like the stretch that your low back especially needs right now, stay here. You can skip the next pose and just stay here for a few breaths. If, however, you'd like to deepen the stretch, grab onto your heels. For some of us, this is a challenge, so if you want to, you can grab a towel to wrap around your heels for a better grip. Then bring your forehead into your knee and rock onto the crown of your head for rabbit's pose. Use your arms to pull. Pull your belly button up to your spine. Lift your seat up. Your shoulder blades will wrap down to the sides of the body. Continue to breathe. One more inhale. Exhale, slowly lower down. Untuck your chin and massage your forehead side to side. Really, really nice, yogi. Continue to let your breath and your heart rate slow after that bigger pose. Great. Slow and steady. Come up to sit on your heels.
So we're going to move into Camel. If you know that you have a lot of low back tenderness or a previous back injury, go really easy in Camel. Take it inch by inch. Be very mindful. Great, so let's come to stand on the knees. Bring them about hips width distance. We've done a lot of toe tucking today. We're gonna do it again. Tuck your toes. What that does is it just puts some structure in your legs, and when we have structure in our legs, our low back feels happier. Take your hands to your low back. Loop the shoulder heads up to your ears, back, and then down. So your chest should feel broad throughout the entire pose. If at any point you feel like, ooh, I'm collapsing in or I'm protecting, or there's a pinch or pull, it's an indication to back out, okay? Hands to your low back, elbows in. Zip the pubic bone up to the belly button and lift the chest up. I like to draw my chin in slightly and then just tilt the gaze up to the ceiling, and perhaps this is it. For a lot of us, this is it, and we feel all of this beautiful expansion without any of the yuckiness that is sometimes associated with camel pose. If you have some more space to play, anchor your right hand on your sacrum, reach your left hand down, touch your heel, and then switch sides, see if it's available on the other side. If it is available on both sides, lean back, grab onto your heels, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift your chest through. Your neck should stay long the entire time. There's this misconception that you have to lean your head back in camel, and quite frankly, that's not very safe. So I want you to just gaze straight up, keep the back of your neck nice and long. Great. One more breath in. One more breath out. Draw the belly in, so that's for spinal support. Hand to your low back at your sacrum. Lift up, and then sit back on your heels. Let your gaze come straight forward and take a few breaths. Great. So camel pose is an intense pose. Things that are totally great to feel in camel are exhilaration, a little bit of excitement, maybe even a little bit of, what's coming next? Things I don't want you to feel in that pose are nauseous. I don't want you to feel like it's too intense or that you're crunching in your spine. So as you go through poses like that, that's where that mindfulness comes into play. And you did a great job. Let's come on to our back. Come on down and set up for bridge pose. So we have one more big challenge pose ahead of us. So we'll take it in stages and stop at whatever stage feels appropriate for your body today, where you're finding that appropriate balance of effort and challenge in your body, but ease in your breath. So as we start in bridge pose, anchor down through your feet, lift your hips up. Let your shoulder blades come underneath you. Pause and check in. Ensure that both of your feet are anchored on their four corners, both edges of the heels, through the ball mounds of the feet, and that you're balancing both the hip muscles and the inner thighs. If this feels like a great place to stop for you, do so. If you'd like to go into wheel preparation, flip your fingertips towards the heads of your shoulder. Pause and check to see that your elbows are in your peripheral vision. So if your elbows just went really wide or the heels of your hands don't want to seal down, then this is where I want you to stop today. Just working with the range of motion in your shoulder and continuing to strengthen your spine will move you into this pose over time, even if it doesn't happen today. If this is feeling all right and your hands are anchored, press into your hands and lift your chin. Then press up into your hands so that the weight is balanced in both your feet and your hands. A lot of people take a little pit stop on the top of the head, but I don't find that that's very safe for the neck, especially if you don't have a lot of control. So I want you to feel that you can balance in both hands more than you worry about whether or not you can get all the way up into wheel. So if you're still down on your back, just working on the press, that's totally fine. But if you are up in wheel, once you come all the way up, let your neck go long and your chest move through. Breathe big and continue to lengthen tail slightly towards the back of the knee, chest towards the wall behind you. One more breath in. Great. On your way back down, exhale, tuck your chin so you roll down onto your back instead of onto the back of your head. So when you come down, release your arms to your side and just knock your knees together. Resist the urge to draw your knees into your chest. That's too intense for the back right now. Just let it be long. Take a breath in and open mouth exhale. Great job. So whether or not you came all the way onto your hands doesn't really matter. You still did something brand new for your spine. So now let's give it a little bit of a twist to show it some love. Let the knees drop over to your right and take your left arm out. Anytime we come into an intense pose for our spine, we want to counterbalance with something that's a little more gentle. We don't want to whiplash the spine in one direction and then extremely in another direction. So with this twist, keep it a soft, gentle variation of a twist. Great. Move your knees to the other side, and the right arm goes out. A lot of times you'll hear yoga instructors talk a lot about aligning your knees. I'm not a big stickler on that because I feel like we tend to tug our hips too much when that happens. Instead, I want you to look for length on your inhale and just some softness here on your exhale. And it's okay if your knees are a little bit out of alignment. Usually our body goes for the path of least resistance. And at this point in practice, there's no need to add extra resistance. Take one more breath in and one more breath out. Great. Return to the middle. Knees to your chest. And for our Shavasana today, we'll just take a nice, relaxing position for the low back. Feet wide, knees together, arms long, and eyes closed. I can feel underneath my skin, it's just tingly a little bit. I notice that my energy is also lifted and my mood has absolutely improved. In fact, I can't help but smile. Backbends are like a cup of coffee for you. They just sort of wake you up. And because they have these beautiful benefits, it's why it's super important to not overdo it, right? You want to go into the back bend that gives your body joy, not the back bend that makes you feel like it hurts. I think a healthy back bend practice a few times a week is essential for anybody that wants to improve their posture and their performance in any physical activity. In fact, we spend a lot of time on our abs and our glutes. We don't always spend enough time on our back. Take one more breath in. And let this exhale just be a sigh of relief Great job. Roll over to your side. And gently press yourself up to a seat. Great job taking on some of those new and challenging poses. I think a strong spine is essential for any fitness, weight loss, or yoga goal that you have. Join me tomorrow for another Yoga Meets HIIT workout. We're going to challenge our body, and we're going to increase our energy so that you can continue on with this awesome goal that you have for yourself. Until then, namaste. Today's bonus video is all about celebrating how far you've come. It's time to readdress your journal. At the beginning of this challenge, I encourage you to find a journal that you could keep. And part of that included taking notes on how you felt in certain postures, how you felt doing something new in your body. And that kind of information is really helpful because now's the time to readdress. So as you take a look at your journal, are there any poses that you feel more confident in? Is there anything that you've noticed has improved, like your energy, your stamina, your sleep? Maybe you've already started losing some weight. When we keep a journal, we're able to celebrate our success because we can see how far we've come, and you have come far. I encourage you not to ignore even the smallest victories. It's easy to get really stuck on what the scale says. But the truth is, if you have been working through this challenge day by day, if you've been watching these bonus videos and starting to put some of the homework into place, you are already making huge improvements for your health and for your mind and spirit. So readdress your journal. How are things going? Maybe there are some areas of your promises and commitments that you've wanted to make to yourself that have fallen through the cracks a little bit. That's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Instead, renew your commitment to this challenge. You started this challenge for a reason. I want you to stay strong through the end. It takes a little while for our brain to build new habits. It takes quite a few days, at least 21 days, and some studies say a little bit longer than that, which is why this is a 30-day challenge. When you give yourself about a month to try on new things, you are building habits and giving them time to gel so that these habits start to become part of the fabric of your life. So if this is the time to renew your commitment to this challenge, if this is the time to renew your commitment to your promises that you've made to yourself, please do it. Take the time. Write out in your journal your renewed commitment so that it's top of mind and so that it feels fresh. Whenever you go through a challenge like this or you start to incorporate regular movement routines, after a couple weeks, you might start to notice that certain things are easier in your body. That's awesome. That means your body is adapting and changing to the demands that you've been placing on it. So now is the time to kick up the intensity. When we kick up the intensity, we start to work with things called muscle confusion. That means our muscles don't exactly know what's coming up next. So they don't go on autopilot. Instead, they continue to adapt and change, and we continue to see results. Plus, it fights off boredom. So when we increase the intensity, we renew our commitment, we're fighting off boredom, and we're staying involved with these healthy habits, these healthy movement patterns that we have decided are really important for our life. It's easy to let a journal get stuck in between the seats of your car or slide under your bed and you forget about it. I want you to keep your journal nearby. It is your way to track your experience, your success. It's something that you have that you can celebrate how far you've come when you're done with this challenge. Make sure to examine the promises that you've made to yourself, and if something needs to change, change it. Now is the time to say, how am I doing? Where do I want to go with this? Ask yourself the important questions, because the truth is you didn't join this 30-day challenge just to lose weight. You probably joined this 30-day challenge because there's a lot of areas of your life that you want to see a change. And you are doing the important work, putting one foot in front of the other. When we take these things step by step and day by day, some of the goals that we have for ourselves don't feel so impossible. In fact, when we put them into bite-sized pieces, we're able to accomplish more than we ever dreamed. I am so excited to be on this journey with you, and I'm really, really glad that you've stuck it out this far. Now is the time to dig in and stay committed. You are doing a fabulous job. Keep up the great work. I'm right there with you, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.
Get back to basics with the Couch to Confidence series, a 14-day complete beginner program from Julia Marie Yoga. Now streaming on Amazon. Introducing Yoga Plus, offering a free series every month with over 300 different videos. Take control of your health. Work out anytime, anywhere. Yoga Plus. Download now for free.